Hello there. I'd like to continue sharing with you some ways to create interesting characters. Last time we looked at the way characters can be developed by looking at objects that are connected to them, things that are around them. In this case, I want to look at something that's a little bit more common in the way people like to describe, and that's through physical description. It doesn't mean to say that there is anything better about this than, say, describing them through objects around them. No, it can simply be that physical description is very traditional and also very frequently employed by writers. I'd like to look at a quick passage now, an excerpt from the great novel, the iconic novel of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck, in which we're introduced to the two central characters, George and Lennie. So let's have a quick look at this description that follows now. I'm sharing the screen with you so you can read it with me. Let's read the excerpt then. The first man was small and quick, dark of face, with restless eyes and sharp, strong features. Every part of him was defined: small, strong hands, slender arms, a thin and bony nose. Behind him walked his opposite, a huge man, shapeless of face with large, pale eyes and wide sloping shoulders. And he walked heavily, dragging his feet a little, the way a bear drags his paws. Now, this description is very simply presented. In fact, the main job of the description is achieved by adjectives. Have a look at the first sentence, in which we're introduced to the character of George, even though he isn't mentioned, and that is his name. Look at all the adjectives in the first sentence alone: small, quick, dark, restless, sharp, strong, 6 of them. And in the next sentence, continuing with George, we have 5 more: small, strong hands, slender arms, thin and bony nose. When we move into the character of Lennie, again, adjectives help, very much so, but there are other elements too. For example, an analogy. He's compared to a bear, giving him the sense of enormous physical size and strength. Plus, there are words that continue the idea of size and power with things like the adverb, heavily. He walked heavily. Of course, simply adjectives work here: the huge, shapeless, pale, wide, sloping. They all help to present the character. In the first case, we've got a lot more going on besides merely 11 adjectives in a very short space, notice, only 3.5 lines as such, and we've got so many adjectives, but we've also got a few other techniques that help develop this sense. For example, there's repetition. He's described as small and strong twice in both the first and the second sentence. These identify key elements of him. Despite his size, he's strong. If we look again at the second sentence, we can see that the first part of it introduces the main idea. Every part of him was defined, and that's followed by backing it up with clear, definitive detail. And that's achieved not just by the adjectives, but also by asyndeton, which is omitting the conjunctions. The commas replace them in this case: small, comma, strong hands, comma, slender arms, comma. This helps build up a sense of detail as well as quickening the pace, which adds to the idea that he himself is a rather sharp, alert, quick-moving individual. I hope this has helped you understand the way in which very simple techniques like adjectives, adverbs, the use of asyndeton and repetition, these things can immediately present a clear portrait of characters. In this case, 2 very contrasting characters. Look out for our next little mini masterclass on description and other elements of English language. Bye-bye now.